This is the large box card template tutorial. Let's begin. You'll start with 2 sheets of cardstock, and you'll need to trim the cardstock to 7.5 inches by 9 inches. So starting on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to cut that down to 7.5 inches. Rotate 1 turn to the left and cut at 9 inches. And we're going to save the scrap. We're going to use that in a moment. Do the same thing to the second panel, cutting at 7.5 inches. And then rotate 1 turn to the left and cut at 9 inches. We'll take one of the thicker scraps and we'll cut that down to 6 inches. And then trim that in half at 1 inch. So you'll have 2 pieces that measure 6 inches by 1 inch. The rest of it is scrap, and we'll move that out of the way. Now going to the scoreboard, we'll take the 2 small 6 by 1 inch pieces and we'll score those at 1/2 inch and 5.5 inches. And we'll do that for both pieces, same thing, 1/2 inch and 5.5 inches. For the first panel, we're going to score at 5 inches across the 7.5 inch side, and then 7 inches. And then rotate the cardstock 1 turn to the left and score at 4 inches. And this is what it should look like. And we'll set that aside, and we'll take the second piece of cardstock. And on the 7.5 inch side, we'll score at 5 inches and 7 inches. And then we'll rotate the cardstock 1 turn to the left and score at 4 inches. But we're going to stop at that second score line. We're not going to score all the way down. This is going to be the back support of your box card, and we don't want a score mark there. So we'll set this aside and we'll grab some scissors, and we're going to cut off that little tiny piece as shown in the diagram here. So we'll take some scissors and create some nice straight cuts as best as you can. Okay, for the second score line here, we're going to just trim down to the center score line. So we'll just make 1 quick cut, and then this is going to create a little flap. And this is what it should look like. And we'll set that aside, and we're going to do the exact same thing, cutting off that little piece on the edge and creating a little flap. So now we're going to take that little tiny piece and we're going to crease that with a bone folder. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other piece of cardstock, and we're going to make sure that everything is being folded the same way. So you have 2 pieces that look identical with the cardstock folded the same way. And we'll grab some adhesive and put some glue on that little flap, and then we're going to put these on top of each other. And making sure it's nice and straight and lined up. You want to take your time to make sure that it's straight, otherwise the box won't open properly. Use my bone folder to burnish the glue into place. You can add adhesive to the other flap and then close the box on top of itself. Now if it's nice and straight, it should line up. And use the bone folder to press that glue in, making sure that everything is adhered. And now at this point, we can open the box and crease the other folds, making sure that you get nice sharp creases. Okay, now we'll take the front flaps and we'll start creasing those. We'll fold that down. This is going to be the part that opens up to display whatever you have on the inside of your box. And those side flaps will do the same thing. Crease those side flaps down. And now at this point, it should start to look like a standing box. And it folds up nice and flat. Okay, now we're going to move over to those little 1 inch strips, and we're going to take the little score marks and fold them in a Z formation with the 2 flaps pointing in opposite directions. Add some adhesive to those flaps and put it on the inside of the box, making sure that when you close the box, everything will lay nice and flat. That's the purpose of those little score marks. So you should be able to open or close the box whichever way, and those little strips will lay flat. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the second strip in a Z formation with the 2 flaps pointing in opposite directions. Add some adhesive to the ends of those little flaps and glue that down on the inside of the box. These are going to be the little parts that you can pop up your elements inside of your box. And then fold it in the opposite direction to make sure that everything is lined up and straight and the box can open and close with ease. And that's it. Now all you need to do is fill it with some patterned paper, decorate it, stamp it, do whatever you like to do. Fill it with some flowers or clouds or whatever it is that you want to put inside of your box, and it'll be ready to gift for a perfect special occasion. Check out the next video on how to make an envelope for this box card. Coming up on screen are links to the rest of the template tutorials. Thanks so much for stopping by and have yourself a lovely day.